Good afternoon, everybody. Shane Jenkins here with Liberty's Cage. A special show today. I have a guy, Sean Tario. I met, I'm going to mess up his name. I wrote it down. Scott Saraki at CPAC. And, you know, I was kind of going through some stuff, but that man took the time out to minister to me. And I cannot thank him enough for that. So shout out to Scott. I'm sure you will see this, but bro, I know you don't do it for the accolades or the pats on the back, but I want you to know that you were a blessing to me, and you helped me find my way out of the darkness, you know, so I'm thankful for that. Sean has a product. He's not here to sell it. He's just here to give us the information, to give you liberty to choose to either break free from the matrix or not. And I think this is important. I think it has a relevant part in the J6 community, especially because we were geofenced, and, you know, they came after us with the full weight and force of the federal government, and it probably would have been maybe a little bit different if they came after us, and we had this product. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Sean Tario. You there, Sean?
I'm here. Thanks for having me, Shane.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming on. So just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got into this, or, you know, your background.
Yeah, you know, for better or worse, I'm 46 now. I just turned 46, and I you know, by the grace of God, had a father who, when I was very young and started asking some pretty deep questions at age 14, woke me up to the reality of what is really going on in the world. So he had me sit down and watch a great video series that, if you haven't seen, you should watch, and your listeners should watch. It's called The Money Masters, and it's about the history of money and banking and who really controls the world, and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, and that our Federal Reserve is neither federal nor reserve. And at that age, I was 14, so I was like, you know, what the heck? But I basically learned that the world is run by an international cartel of bankers. I learned that war is a racket. I eventually read G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. So, you know, come college, I'm in college, and 9/11 happens. And I was one of the few idiots sitting there being like, this is clearly a controlled demolition. How do people not realize this is a controlled demolition? Building 7, what's going on? Like, how did that building come down?
Yeah.
And I was one of the few people being like, how do we only have like 4 freeze frame photos of the thing that hit the Pentagon? Like, it's the Pentagon. It's got cameras everywhere. And we're led to believe that that's the only footage. Like, I was the only asshole who was asking these questions at my university in the Bay Area in California. And so many other things, like the passport that they just happened to find that they claimed was from one of the jihadis that the FBI just happened to find on the streets of New York. And I'm like, who's believing this crap?
Right.
Like, are you serious? And I was told I was crazy. So, like, I got crazy depressed at age 21 years old. And I was like, Lord, I want to win this battle against evil. But we're up against an enemy that has unlimited funds, unlimited means, has like control of the whole monopoly board, and they're willing to literally do anything, to include kill thousands of people, to win the war. Like, how do you win that battle? And I was literally at that point, I was so depressed and I was so pissed off, and being told that I was crazy by everybody around me, that I was contemplating suicide. I was like, screw it. The easiest way out of this situation is just to check out. But then the Lord very specifically spoke to me, and he said, Sean, your job right now at age 20 is not to solve the world's problems. Your job right now is to figure out your own crap. Like, focus on this, and focus on me, and I will take care of everything else. And so, you know, I haven't been perfect throughout my life, as anyone who knows me will attest. It's been a big roller coaster, but I've always had my focus set on him. And, you know, here I am, 46 now. But, you know, bringing it to J6, which is a huge part of my story, actually. I got into tech. I was in the Bay Area. I was in tech. I was an entrepreneur. I got into the data center industry, got very deep in that industry. Was, you know, very successful in that industry. Literally wrote a book on the data center industry, which, if anyone's interested in the data center world, because there's a lot of talk about data centers and how horrible they are, you should check out a book. It's called The Data Center Colocation Industry Playbook. You can find it all over the internet at this point. Almost every new data center provider buys my book and they give it to their employees because it's essentially data centers for dummies. So because I have a dad who's literally the least tech-savvy person on the planet, I've become very adept at taking complex technical information and making it digestible for like everyday people to just understand what the heck is going on. So with all that as the backdrop, J6 happens. I warned all my friends, don't go to the Capitol. This is going to be a massive setup. You know, I've so many times in my life, I've seen things like 9/11. I'm like, this is clearly a psyop. This is clearly a setup. So my wife was like, she was ready to go. I literally had to hide the keys to the car because we were in Raleigh at the time to prevent her from driving up to the Capitol, because she would have been in Nancy Pelosi's office kicking over tables and like throwing a fit, right?
Righteous anger. Nothing wrong with it, I don't think.
So I was like, you're not going, because something is going to I know something's going to happen. This is not just going to be like a rah-rah. This is going to be a massive setup, and people are going to get screwed royally. So when I literally saw, Ashley Babbitt being wheeled out of the Capitol with the wound, I literally just broke down in tears, and I'm on my knees in prayer, and I'm just pleading with the Lord to put me on the front lines of this war, because I was so sick and tired of knowing things like this were going to happen, very clearly seeing how it was going to happen, not because I'm like any special person. I'm just a systems theory person. Like, I follow systems, I follow power, I follow politics and economics and socioeconomics, like all the things, and I just see where it's all headed. And I've known since I was 14 that these psychopaths, these Luciferian psychopaths who are in control of our monetary system, of our political system, of all of the things, are driving us towards this one world system. So, I'm on the floor, like literally just pleading with the Lord, like, please, Lord, put me on the front lines. I want to help people, because I saw you guys there, and I'm like, I could have helped you guys. I've done this a lot smarter in a much better way so that you don't get screwed. And I knew all you guys that were there were going to get screwed royally, absolutely royally. And, anyway, so the Lord just said to me, like 2 words, parallel infrastructure. And this is a debate that I used to have with people all the time, because they're like, well, we need the existing system to burn down to the ground so that we can build something new. And my whole shtick is it's not waiting for the existing system to burn down before you do this. We have to start building the new system now.
Provide the alternative.
So with that in mind, I said, okay, Lord, what do we need to do? Well, do you remember Parler? The social media website Parler. So Parler got 24-hour notice from Amazon Web Services that they were going to be shut down. That's essentially puts them out of business. That's like telling a company that has thousands of employees in a building, you have 24-hour notice and you need to vacate the premise. It's literally impossible to take all of your stuff in 24 hours and do that, especially for a website.
That's crazy.
So, and I've been warning people since like 2015, 2016, because in the data center industry and the hosting industry, which is where I came from, I saw private equity, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, Berkshire Hathaway, all these companies coming into this industry, acquiring all the assets, and then putting their people on the boards and starting to make mandates. So with the whole DEI crap that came flooding into the system, that came directly from the boards of the private equity firms that bought all the companies. So I was like, they now own and control the internet. So if we don't own the dirt, we don't own the servers, we don't own the network and control all of that, they literally flip the switch and turn us off. We don't exist online, right? And I've been warning people for, better part of 6 years at that point, when Parler got kicked off, when Trump got kicked off Twitter, when everybody got purged off of Facebook and Twitter and all the things. I got kicked off of LinkedIn. So then I started getting phone calls by people being like, oh, you were right. The same people that were saying, Sean, this is America. We have freedom of speech. We have contract terms with these companies. And I had to explain to them, look, these psychopaths don't give a crap at all about the contracts that you have with them, because they're going to say, so sue us. And they're going to tie you up in court for decades. Maybe you win the case, but at that point you're bankrupt because you had to pay your attorney's fees and your company's out of business. So they don't care about that. And they definitely don't care about our Constitution, which I'm sure you know. How many Congress people in both the state and federal government even know what the Constitution is, have even read the damn thing, and are even following it? The answer is almost none of them.
Yeah, not many.
So to think that, like, our government
seems like most of those got kicked out. Massey and Margaret Taylor Greene, and it's like...
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
So, like, I've never been under the illusion that our government is like this, constitutional republic, especially because they constantly saying, we need to protect our democracy. I'm like, we're not a freaking democracy. What do the forefathers say about democracy? They said if we ever get to the point where we're calling ourselves a democracy, it's game over. We're screwed, right? So anyway, for many years, I've been fighting this battle. That data center got stood up, that hosting infrastructure got stood up. It's now called AmericanCloud.com. If you're a geek and you want to stand up infrastructure, it's basically the Amazon Web Services alternative that's focused on your First Amendment, freedom of speech. We started hosting all kinds of pro-life sites. All the 2A companies that got kicked off of GoDaddy, that got kicked off of Amazon, Google, Microsoft Azure, like all the hosting platforms, they started migrating over to that platform. But then, I'm an entrepreneur. So once that got stood up, I said, okay.
Hang on, Sean, if we can go. We got to go to commercial break really quick. We'll be back with Sean Tario. This is getting interesting. This is kind of the why, I think, why you went into what you're doing. But we'll be back with...
I'm still on the why. I'll get past that.
We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage after this.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free.
I'm Shane Jenkins, back with Liberty's Cage with Sean Tario or Terrio. I'm not sure. I interview Enrique Tario on here all the time, so I just say it like him, kind of maybe one less R. But you were sharing, I mean, and we were talking between segments, you know, about I was in college when 9/11 happened and got sent home from my class and all that. Just, we, as Americans, you know, then you had 9/11, Iraq, Afghanistan, stock market crash. There's like a whole COVID, like all the way down. Like there's just so many things that we've endured as a people, right? And I kind of started to connect some dots when you were saying that BlackRock and these Berkshire Hathaway or whoever it is, I don't know if it's K Street, that's probably DC stuff. But anyways, State Street, there you go, yeah. And, then they start pushing this DEI stuff, and that's the Marxist communist playbook. Like they're trying to divide men against women, straights against gays or Christians against Muslims, whatever it is. And if they can divide us as a people, then we can have us fighting the whole time. They can just take whatever they want from us. So if you want to pick up, sorry to go on a rant, but if you want to pick up, go feel free, man, take off. I'm enjoying it. So
I think what I was saying is that for me as an entrepreneur, once we had the physical facilities set that we could actually deploy applications onto and run, that we're not going to be just turned off at a whim, I said, what's the next major problem set? And it's the fact that everyone carries around these things in their pockets, which are hands down the most sophisticated psychological warfare weapons ever designed, and no one knows how they work. You know that if you press a couple buttons, you can make a phone call or a text message or look at an app,
right, but
you don't know how it works. So, the best analogies for this, just to help people process and understand what's really happening here. Shane, I'm positive you probably shoot guns, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I'm a friend of yours and I walk up to you and I say, hey, Shane, I'm not gun savvy. I get really nervous when I'm around guns. I really don't understand how they work. Right. But I know that if I pull the trigger, it'll go boom and it'll like shoot a projectile. What gun would you recommend that I carry on my person all day, every day? What would you say to that?
A SIG, probably.
That's the wrong answer, Shane.
Oh, okay. The
right answer is you shouldn't carry at all until you get trained and educated.
There you go.
And you start to feel comfortable actually having that thing. Like literally, that's not what you don't want to give a random person who's not gun savvy, right, who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, a gun. Yeah. Right? Right? That's a horrible idea. They're more of a threat to themselves and everybody around them, right?
Absolutely.
So when we start to realize that these were designed, they've spent at this point trillions of dollars. People need to wrap their head around this. Trillions of dollars to make these things the most sophisticated psychological warfare weapon ever designed. That's not hyperbole. That is fact. These things are weapons, and they need to be treated as such. And if you don't understand how this thing really works, you're going to get yourself set up in a situation where you're at an event, you're being geo-tracked, they know everything you've ever said on that thing or near that thing, they know every text message, every phone call, all the contacts, everything you bought. And you're like, how do they get access to that information? Because you don't understand how the thing works.
Right.
So for us, anyone who says, buy this thing and you're safe, just buy this gun and you're safe, is lying to you.
Right.
Because you have to know how it works, and you have to know not just how to pull the trigger to make it shoot. Like, you have to get trained when to use it appropriately.
Yeah, question. So I don't think they had access to my phone, but like you say, they could go to the servers and get into my cloud, and it's got everything.
They had access to your phone, bro.
Damn.
So here's the key. The operating system of your device is the key. And if you're running a Google Android, which is almost every phone, people are like, well, no, I have a Samsung. Well, the operating system is Google. It's a Google Android phone.
They have Apple.
If you have an iPhone, the operating system is iOS. That is an Apple phone. Right. So people need to realize, you think this is your phone, right? This is my phone. No, it's not your phone. It's Apple's phone. It's Google's phone. You literally are paying for them to exfiltrate all of your information and data all the time. Every text message, every phone call literally routes through Google and Apple servers. And for national security reasons, guess what? All of that data is also shared with our government and our three-letter agencies.
For sure.
Which, as we've already covered, are supposed to be here to defend and protect us. And maybe some good people there are doing that. But by and large, that's not what they're doing.
Doesn't feel like it, from my perspective.
Or really anyone who's paying attention's perspective, right?
For sure.
They serve corporate interests.
Right.
And they have almost, let's just say for a very long time. Very long time.
Well, they're making us debt slaves. They're poisoning us with our food, with the water, with everything. They're not treating you to get you better. They're treating you to keep you sick, so they can make the long monies and treating people, not curing people. It's just it's a subversion of everything that we believe in, really.
So the key is education and training, because as you get educated and trained on how these things work, you'll start to realize, holy crap, this is digital poison. This is digital poison. And you'll start to gain some digital, just basic situational awareness. Like, we know if a store is being robbed, you shouldn't go into that store unless you're prepared to deal with that situation. Like, that's just common sense.
Right.
Most people have absolutely zero common sense and digital situational awareness when it comes to these tools. None. Because they're like, well, it's just so convenient. It just does the things that I want it to do for me. It looks sexy. It's just so, so amazing to work with and deal with, because they've hired the smartest people on the planet and paid them a stupid amount of money for decades to make it that way. Right. So that you don't actually stop and think, how does this thing work? What is it actually doing? So that you stop and say, what? This is literally no different than our fast food industry or our food industry, which is also owned by State Street, Vanguard, Berkshire Hathaway, right?
Yeah.
No different. Where they feed us food that's so processed and full of garbage chemicals that it's literally killing us, but it tastes so good and it hits all the triggers in our brain that we just want to keep eating it. So when we get smarter about these tools, and you can go to our website, mark37.com /REF/Shane, so that you can get a discount. Use Shane's discount.
Sure.
So that's mark37.com. You could put this up on the site somewhere in the show notes or whatever. REF/Shane, right?
Right.
You can sign up for a free digital privacy consultation where we can walk through all this stuff with you. But we also have literally like books worth of content on our website to get you up to speed and just get you educated. And like I said before, one of the gifts that God has bestowed upon me is taking all this complex stuff and making it easily understandable for people so they don't walk into stores that are being robbed all day, which if you're using a Google Android phone or an iPhone or a Mac OS laptop or a Windows laptop, you are literally blowing your digital head off all day, every day, and you don't even know it. So when you start to get educated on this stuff, it's no different than when you start to realize, wait a second, this is poison, this is poison, this is poison. You then have to make a decision. Am I going to continue to eat the poison knowingly, or am I going to find an alternative?
Right.
And finding alternatives isn't always easy at first. Like, where is my protein and produce going to come from if it's not going to come from the grocery store that's feeding me garbage? You have to then go find the local farmer, find the local farmer's market, start asking around, building a new network of people who actually care about this stuff, that are taking it seriously, that you can then start to learn from and grow from. And it's a journey, it's not a sprint. Some people who are relatively technical savvy, they can get this stuff done in a couple hours. Other people might take a couple days, might take a couple weeks.
Right.
But once you realize, holy crap, this is poison, I need to purge this out of my life, I have to stop feeding all of my data, all of my information, literally to the Luciferian psychopaths that are trying to kill me. Like, how, it just blows my mind, Shane, and I get so, this is why I'm so passionate about it. because it blows my mind that people are sitting there being like, I'm not okay with the surveillance state. I'm not okay with being tracked and monitored every day, and yet they literally carry around in their pockets the most sophisticated surveillance device ever created, and then they go buy a new car, which is literally a mobile tracking device that does the same thing. It's like literally someone who's like, Pfizer's evil, Pfizer's horrible, I know the jabs are bad, I don't want to have anything to do with them, but I need to go to my next doctor appointment meeting and get my next booster shot.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
what?
I'm not drinking the fluoride in the water to go get a booster.
So we have to realize that this is something serious, that is real, that we're being kept in the dark about what's actually happening with these devices on purpose. Because the smarter you get about this, the more you're going to be like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And so my firm, the whole reason why Mark 37 exists, is we provide solutions. We provide alternatives. So you can still be, a business owner. You can still be a podcaster, an influencer. You can still be a working mom. You can still be a grandparent, a pastor, a priest, and use these tools and make it exponentially more difficult for these assholes to mine and track and monitor everything you're doing all day, every day. But if people are like, well, I want to get this done like tomorrow, and you're not tech savvy, and you really, you don't want to focus some time and attention on it, that's literally like someone going to the doctor or a health and wellness practitioner and saying like, I need to lose weight and I need to get in shape. Can you just give me the pill that's going to make me lose weight and get in shape?
Right.
And
Let me take
like, I can get you Ozempic or whatever. That's like literally poison. I can poison you to make you healthier, right? Like,
yeah, right. Let me take us to commercial. We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage with Shane Jenkins and Sean.
250 years ago, a nation was born. Built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
I'm Shane Jenkins, your host of Liberty's Cage, back with Sean Terrio. Please go to mark37.com/ref/Shane to get your discounted ghost phone. He hasn't really got into actually the details about the phone yet, but go check him out. These guys are good people. As we were talking about in the earlier segments, they have been awake, it seems, for some time. And I feel like, and we talked about this earlier. I don't know if we said this or I may have said this earlier, but just talking about Liberty's Cage, breaking out of the Matrix is something that is important. It's like we're trying to live our lives and be sovereign and free, and we've like got this ball and chain around our ankle, and we're dragging, we're giving them every insight on how to take advantage of us, which, I have a thing for French fries, so they're going to send me every company that makes wonderful French fries to my phone, and then I'm going to succumb to these French fries every day of every week. You know what I mean, or whatever. I'm sure it's much more specific than that, but we don't want to be exploited. We want our data to be secure, and so you guys kind of bought. Are you a part of the servers that are owned, that are the Liberty server? Let's say Liberty servers or American. I forget what you said they were called, but.
American Cloud, yeah. So yes is the short answer, of course. So I definitely drink my own Kool-Aid, right?
There you go. Yeah, for sure.
I can't sit out here and do what I'm doing now and not be homesteading and homeschooling my kids and doing all the things and constantly incrementally trying to get myself further and further out of the Matrix.
Right. Yeah.
So our team, Scott, who you were talking about earlier, we view ourselves as Morpheus from the Matrix. And when we identify the people who are I get it, and they want exfiltration, then we work with them, and then we have to give them the choice, right? Do you want the blue pill or the red pill? Because you can live in ignorance, you can know the truth, but you can choose to live in the Matrix and live in the world because it's more convenient. It's just more convenient, right? Yeah. But there's a saying that Scott actually has, which is we have to choose our hard. We have to choose our hard. You're either going to choose the unhealthy lifestyle of eating the garbage, but that's going to catch up to you. That means you're going to be sick, you're going to have to deal with joint pain, you're going to have to deal with all kinds of issues further on in life, or you're going to have to choose the hard up front of working out, of getting in shape, of eating healthier, which is not easy, motivating yourself to go spend an hour in the gym.
Right. Discipline.
Not easy, right? It takes discipline. That's the hard, but you get the benefits of that, right? So do you either want the short-term benefit of being able to pick and choose and eat whatever the heck garbage you want, or do you want the easy of actually living a healthy life? And it's the same thing with our tech. You have to choose the hard of learning a new lifestyle choice, which is getting smarter about how you use these devices. And start asking questions like with the phones, because we do phones, we do laptops, we do tablets, we do all kinds of other stuff. It's not a matter of well, what about this app? I need to use this app for work. I needed to use that app. The app will work on the device. Any Android app is going to work on this device. And this gets technical because most people don't realize that Android is actually open source code, which means Google takes this open source framework of code and they build their code on top of it, and then they close source it so no one can see what's actually happening. Though we know what's happening because of the court cases they've lost, which prove definitively that they're doing all the things that they say they're not doing from a privacy perspective. Same thing with Apple, right?
Absolutely.
But because Graphene OS, which is the name of the operating system, which I encourage your listeners, look up Graphene OS, do some diligence. It's hands down the most private, secure mobile operating system that's in existence today. Cannot be cracked and hacked by any of the intel agencies, which is why you see the UK and the UN and the EU putting out statements right now saying, don't use Graphene OS, only criminals use Graphene OS. Right?
Right, yeah.
So,
means it's secure.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been using this for, I've been using it for about 5 years now. And when they put out that statement 6 months ago, I was like, amen, hallelujah. You're just proving to us.
Send them our way.
why this has to exist and why this exists. So any app works, but the question isn't, well, will this app work? The question is, should you even download that app onto your phone in the first place? What data is that app exfiltrating from your phone and feeding up into servers that are not your own, that are controlled by other psychopaths? Because they all share this data. This is why it is like, even if you have your phone off, it's still listening. You may be talking about something. You may not even have the Facebook app downloaded on your phone. And you may talk about something. But you go to your laptop and you log into your Facebook account and you start to see ads for the things that you were talking about. Because Google, Apple, Microsoft, X, like everyone thinks X is this like bastion of free speech. It's not. I hate to break it to you. Most of your people probably know this.
Yeah.
You know, it's freedom of speech without freedom of reach, which means it's the same thing as censorship. They just, they allow you to still say it without canceling your account, which is ridiculous.
If you talk about a little country in the Middle East, they're definitely limiting your reach, which I do quite often. So.
Yeah. So this is where getting smarter about this stuff comes into play. You have to start reading. It tells you in the App Store what data that app is actually going to be pulling off of your phone. But no one spends the time to even read the bullet points on the app. They're like, oh, here's the app. Yep, install. Open, right? Just get through, like, did you read the term? How many people read the terms of service? Nobody reads the terms of service.
No, nobody. Yeah.
Right? So let me blow your mind with this, Shane. How do you think the AI tools that we have today have gotten so smart so quickly? Yes, based on the conversation that we just had.
Absorbing all the data and, organizing it and studying it.
So when you signed the terms of service to use your iPhone and to use your Google device and to use your Microsoft Windows operating system on your laptop, which is at this point, it's like 94% of all of the operating systems that consumers use today. You agreed that these companies could be taking all of the data, all of your pictures, all of the video coming off of that, all of the audio, so it's getting facial recognition, it's getting everything, and they share that data and they use that data to train their AI models.
Wow. That's crazy.
We have been actively participating in our own enslavement, and people are oblivious all over the world. But there's an awakening now, which is happening. There's an awakening now. And this is why I go freaking bananas when I talk to people about this, because I've been fighting for truth in love for my whole life. And I have people who will look at me and call me a conspiracy theorist. Thankfully, over the last 6 years, like, every freaking conspiracy has been proven true.
For real.
And people are starting to realize it's no longer like, that's fringe crap. And I'm like, no, it's all documented. It's on the record. It's like there's so many volumes of facts and proof that definitively shows you just have to open your eyes, right? But because of the Hegelian dialectic and because of people like what I've come to realize is when your foundational reality starts to get questioned, your ego and your pride comes into play, and it may even be subconsciously, will prevent you from even accepting the truth that is staring you right in the face. Mm-hmm. And so often, it's literally only taking an act of God to move in someone's life in a very direct, personal way, to get them to finally chop that pillar off and realize that pillar was a lie.
That's right.
And when we realize that almost everything we're taught in public school is a lie, has been a lie, that the whole medical establishment is a lie, like our whole banking system is a lie, that they're just lying to us all the time.
Yeah.
We can, knowing how we're being lied to is important, right? But as someone who's literally been in this for, 30 years, bro, I've reached a point where people are like, did you hear this? Did you hear that? Or they want to debate with me about, which lie is, the bigger one. I'm like, here's what I know to be true. We've been lied to constantly by everybody all the time. Mm-hmm. Criminals aren't going to indict other criminals.
That's right.
That's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
That money, power, influences people to the nth degree. That people are sinners and that we do stupid stuff, and that people who know that people are sinners and do stupid stuff are going to leverage that to control people.
Right.
Like, this is just basic systems, basic power dynamic. Blackmail, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you understand that, for me, the question isn't like, well, is it flat Earth or is it round Earth, or who shot Charlie Kirk? Like,
I was just sitting here thinking that, dude. I'm like,
I have zero
when they lie
patience.
to you. Yeah, when they lie to you about, like, it's like if you have a girlfriend and she lies to you about one thing, then you're like, that was a stupid lie. Like, did you go to the store? Whatever it was, right? And you're like, then you're like, well, how many of these other things are lie? I know January 6th was a lie. I know 9/11 was a lie. Like, it's all these things. And I credit, like, I read Behold a Pale Horse many, many years ago.
It's a great one.
And it, like you said, all the conspiracy theory, all the things discussed in that book have come to be proven true. And so, but no, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, dude, go ahead.
You're on that thread, right? So for me, I don't spend my time debating with people like who shot. I'm just like, yeah, they're lying to you. Like, yes, they're lying. Yes, 100% they're lying to you. Right. All I care about these days is waking people up. So because I know they're lying to us about the banking, I know they're lying to us with insurance, I know they're lying to us about the health and wellness, I know that all these things that I know. For me, when I'm trying to wake people up, all I'm trying to do is figure out, everyone knows, no matter even if you're the wokest of the woke, you know someone's lying to you big time. So if I can find that thread that I can start to pull on where I'm like, yeah, so they're lying to you, you get that they're lying to you. You don't think that same lie is being told over here in this area and then over here in this area, and then you can slowly start to get them and be like, holy crap, everything's a lie, right? But then you have to ground them because people can get lost.
For sure.
And
well, if you'll hold that thought, we're gonna go to commercial break. But man, I love this conversation, dude. I didn't realize that you were my kind of people, dude. I didn't know that. It's good to know. We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage right after this.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional moving and storage and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
I'm Shane Jenkins, your host of Liberty's Cage, back with Sean Tario. We'll figure it out one of these days. But we were just talking on break. Like I have recently, broke out of the matrix as far as like drinking fluoride-free water, using fluoride-free toothpaste, aluminum-free deodorant, aluminum-free and maybe dye-free body wash and stuff like that. And it is a process, because those things, I'm not going to lie, the water is not even an issue, but the other things like the toothpaste doesn't seem to work as well or taste as good or whatever, and the deodorant doesn't seem to last as long or smell as good, and same thing with the body wash. But it's like a conscious effort to break out of the poison matrix that we're like, they are literally poisoning us, and I want to say that I think this is vital to exactly what we're talking about. Go to mark37.com/REF/Shane and get out of the matrix and get a ghost phone or laptop. I believe you have tablets on there as well. You get a discount if you go to mark37.com/REF/Shane. But yeah, take off, man. I just was thinking about that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so that's where I was going. Like, that's the thread, right? So for you, if I'm talking to you and you're like, I don't know about 9/11, or like, I don't know about this thing, like, I'm like, okay, so why'd you stop taking fluoride? Like, what was that about? And you're like, oh, well, I learned that they were lying to me about all this stuff. And I was like, okay. So those same people in that same industry, you don't think that there's psychopaths in other industries that are going to lie to you? Right?
There's saints. There's saints everywhere else, right?
Yes, right. Well, see, that's the crazy thing. And I used to bitch about tech because that was my life. That was my world. And I was like, there's so many assholes in technology. Everyone's getting backdoor deals. It's like, if you wanted to get a big deal and a big client into your company, you had to basically bribe the buyer, like give them money on the backside to get them to come in. Some of those people get caught and go to jail. Some don't. And I was just like, this is crazy. And I was talking to a buddy who's in the financial industry, and he looked at me. He's like, bro, you think that stuff only happens in tech? That happens exponentially larger in the financial world. And he started explaining that. I was like, oh, you're totally right. So I'm like, oh, that also then happens in the hospital industry, right? Like, why do they push you to constantly get more? Well, we have to do is test. We have to do more testing, more studies, more testing. Well, we need to do this surgery. It's like, well, do you? Do you really need to do that? Anyway, so let's get back to the technology stuff, because that's, I think, is why I'm here and why I'm very passionate about what I do. Is the tech, as you start to get smarter and you start to make some gradual changes, you'll start to realize that this weight is going to be lifted off of your shoulders, because you're going to also realize we don't have psychopaths now living and controlling all the tools that are in our life. And if we remember back to like the 50s, like we have a whole advertising campaign that we're about to launch in about 2 weeks that is literally going back to the 1950s, when we were sold all the gadgets that we have today and tools that we have today. We were sold that those things were going to work for us. Not that I lived in the 1950s, but I've seen the ads, right? And I'm sure some of your listeners who may have been around, but we were sold that stuff was going to serve us. Now that stuff doesn't serve us. It's all used to aggregate data and feed it to the same organizations and companies that are literally wanting to keep us in the cage so that we don't escape the cage. Right. So, if I followed you around, Shane, everywhere that you went, monitoring and tracking everything that you were doing, even into your home, and put up cameras all over your home, you'd be like, bro, get the hell out or you're dead. I'm going to kill you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So why is it not okay for me to do that, even though, like, in this short conversation, we've realized we're on the same page with a lot of things, right? But it's not okay for me, but it's okay for Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, companies that we know are owned and controlled by people who are diametrically opposed to our values. Like, literally opposite of what we stand for and what we're trying to accomplish. We are handing over everything on a silver platter to these companies.
Demonic sovereignty undermining, like they want everybody to be enslaved. That's the New World Order. They don't want anybody to be free or to think. for
So
themselves.
for me, it's like, analogies are absolutely essential. And I just go straight to Lord of the Rings. I go straight to, they do a flashback scene in one of the movies where the king is there. I think his name is Isildur. And he's there. He has the ring. He can literally throw the ring into the pit. And it's even Frodo at the very end. He can throw the ring into the fire and walk away. So there would be no Lord of the Rings if the king in the very beginning just threw the freaking thing in the fire and he's like, no, I need this. He knows he should get rid of it, but he just keeps it. I feel like the people I talk to, and it's changed over the last 4 years, because 4 years ago I was having these conversations and people were like, it's not a big deal. So what? I've got nothing to hide. They're going to get access to this information anyway, so whatever, right? But now people are waking up and they're like, you know what? This is not okay. What do I need to do? What do I have to do? But if you're hearing this and you're like, and you're starting to get anxiety about actually walking away from your iPhone or walking away from your Google Android phone, guess what that means? That means you're an addict. That means that the trillions of dollars that they've spent to make you addicted to this thing has worked, right? Yeah, my precious. My precious. I've got ad campaigns that basically are that, right? And memes that we've created around that, because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. So you have to raise your hand and say, my name is Sean, and I'm an addict, and I need to do something about this. And you need a community of people to help support you through that. You need the tools and the training. So that's what our company does. We just want to get people smarter so you can make smarter decisions and not be willingly giving away all of your information to Luciferian psychopaths that are trying to kill you. For me, that's like common sense. That's like, well, duh. Of course I'm going to do that, right?
Sign me up, yeah.
Sign me up. And yet I still have people who will nod their head along to everything I'm talking about, and they're like,
it's just not me, yeah.
I'm just not ready to leave the Matrix yet. I still want to taste the steak. Even though I know it's killing me, I still want to do it, right?
Well, you mentioned support, and I was looking at the website earlier, and you literally have contacts for people to help walk them through. For somebody like me, this is something that I did, and I'm sure a lot of the older people can relate to this. I was looking at my contacts, and I had a list of 1,600 contacts, and I had 700 contacts. And 700 were the ones that I had met since I got pardoned by President Trump, and the 1,600 was the ones that I had from before. And I was like, how do you merge your contact list? And so I was going to put the 700 with the 1,600 and be, it was just bugging me that I had two contact lists. Yeah. And what did I do? I deleted all my the 700 got deleted. So I was like, whatever. But so I would say that you have infrastructure to support people in walking through this, for people like me that will delete everything off their phone.
100%. That's literally, we spend our days on the phone with customers or doing live chat conversations just like this, walking people through how to do this stuff. And you have to realize, this stuff isn't again, if you're remotely technically savvy, you'll probably be able to figure it. You can use our guides. 80% of our customers we never hear from because they figure it out on their own. They use our tutorials. They use our getting started guides. We have literally mountains of content, videos that you can watch and go through. The other 20%, they just learn differently. They need to interact one-on-one with someone to walk them through it. So we have that ability as well, right? Okay. But we have to realize, this is no different than plumbing. It's internet plumbing, right? Are you a plumber, Shane?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I'm a homeowner, right? Yeah, right. And I've had to deal with plumbing issues in my house. Yeah. And I have spent entire weekends going back and forth to the hardware store trying to figure something out, plumbing-related issue. Right. Finally hitting a wall where I'm like, I've wasted so much time, so much money, I'm ready to put my head through the freaking wall. I'm just going to call my buddy who's a plumber and see what he has to say. And he's like, bro, this is a 5-minute fix. All you need is this tool, and you need this part, and you're done. And I'm like, why the heck did I not call him 2 days ago, right? So you just have to realize we're geeks. We've been through this for 4 years now. There's no question you're going to ask that we likely haven't received before and had to answer before. So if you're going through this process, and again, we have all the guides, read the user manual. Don't just go through and click and expect, read the manual, then you'll understand what's happening and it'll be a lot smoother for you. But if you need to talk to someone, we're happy to talk to you. But you have to view it in that light. Because if you're spending a bunch of time and you're getting frustrated, stop. Just stop. and reach out to us. We're here to help. We want to get as many people out of the matrix as possible, as quickly as possible, because we are going to reach a time here very quickly where they're going to try to eliminate all of these sovereign technology solutions that are out there. Guarantee you. It is a game of whack-a-mole that we're in right now. And if we have enough people using these products and using these tools, it's going to be very difficult for them to try to round all of us up, as I know you all know. So the more of us there are, the much easier it is going to be for us to work with each other. But we have to do it through sovereign technology channels. We can't be like in warfare, comms is everything. If you're giving your comms of what you're doing, where you're going, literally to the enemy that you're about to go fight, you're dead. Why are we giving our comms to the very people that we say that we're fighting against? Like, it's insanity. This is why when I talk to like influencers and I talk to who I consider to be generals on the front lines of these wars that we're in, whether it's pro-life, whether it's election integrity, no matter what it is, and they're nodding their heads and they're like, yeah, but I can't get rid of my Google device or my Apple device. I'm like, please, Lord, give me the patience to not like punch this person in the face and throttle them right now. Because you're supposed to be the general in the war, and you're feeding all of our comms literally to the enemy that we're going to go fight. And it's not because I think they're doing it on purpose, not all the time. I think they're just, people are ignorant.
That's right.
So you could be the smartest of the smart when it comes to health and wellness. You could be the smartest of the smart when it comes to the financial systems. But if you're carrying literally this weapon around in your pocket every day, which is everybody, everyone that's listening right now, and you don't understand how this thing works, that's a problem, because not only are you a threat to yourself, but you're a threat to every other person in your circle. And if we want to win this fight and win this war, or even just survive, like, let's just try to survive the next 10 years, guys. We have to stop using the tools of the enemy to fight the enemy.
That's right. Well, unfortunately, Sean, we're out of time. Go to mark37.com/REF. That's REF/Shane for your discount. Go to their site, check them out. They are good people, and I'm honored to know them. And this has been a great interview, man. I've enjoyed it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Liberty's Cage, and we'll hope to see you next week. God bless y'all.
Peace.
For all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity, for the patriots of America.